Grady, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can't thank you enough for sitting down and letting me steal some of your time. I know
Without a doubt,
you're running 100 miles per hour. Now, we all can say that we're running 100 miles per hour.
We are.
Right?
Yeah, we are. Somewhere, somehow, somebody always busy.
But you're always doing a lot, even off the field, in terms of community service and giving back to the community.
Yes, sir.
Why has that always been something that you wanted to focus on as you started your NFL career?
Giving back to the community always been important to me because I just felt like, being blessed in the position that I am, I want to make impact. I want to use my platform to make impact and make other people's lives better, whether that's, just making them feel better, spending time, whether it's giving financially, whatever I can do to, just like I said, make somebody's life better. And so I do a lot of things as far as like anti-bullying, hospital visits, all the way to military, family visits. Like I just came from a hospital visit this morning. So I'm all over the place with it.
You are.
I'm all over the place with it. So, but I enjoy it. I enjoy every bit of it. I enjoy making connections in the community. And I enjoy being respected in the community as well. So it means a lot to me. I do it from my heart. So that's why I do a lot of things that I, don't talk about. And because it's just true,
Yeah, because it's not about publicity.
Yeah, no, for me, no, it's not. No, it's not about publicity. It comes with it, and I'm grateful for, whatever the attention that it does garner, but I don't do it for the attention.
Yeah, well, obviously there's an aspect that the publicity helps because it brings awareness to some of the things that you're
a lot of awareness brings awareness. So you got to, you have to speak about some things. You have to open up about certain things. So, your message, whatever it may be, does get out. And does inspire people and does help people who are affected dealing with whatever they may be dealing with.
Yeah. Where did you learn that type of servant leadership, or where did that come to be so important in your heart?
Yeah, I think you said it, like servant leadership. Like I think that comes a lot from my faith and just knowing that there's always something I can do, and there's always something that I can use, like I said, my platform to help. And I never want to feel like I'm above, or I've always been in a leadership position. And it hasn't always been about me talking, because I like to show it, lead by example. And whether
like to model leadership rather than talking about it.
Without a doubt, because I can't expect anybody to do something or move something if I'm not willing to do it myself. So as far as being a servant leader, I think that you gain the most respect from your peers, and because if they know that you put the work in and you going out to go do a job or do whatever, I tell them, like, it's time for you to do that, or it's time for you to do that, they're not gonna listen to me if I don't handle my part.
That's right.
And that's in any aspect in life,
It's all of life.
Yeah,
it's not just sports.
So it's like being a servant leader, like you enjoy it, like you don't feel like you have to do something, or it's like, oh, I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta do that. You're doing something for a greater good, for your passion, and it's gonna bring, and it always pays you dividends. Whether it's like you say, just having a great impact on somebody's life and making them feel better about themselves, or giving somebody the courage or confidence they need to do better in their own lives. And so that's
and a lot of times the stuff that you're giving, you're actually receiving as well.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Right?
Without a doubt. For me, you can't receive without give.
Yes.
And if you just take all the time, it's gonna run out. You have to always give, man. And I think that's important. That's important that we need to understand. Just as a community, as people, that when you give, it always come back to you. But you don't, at the same time, you don't give expecting to get something back.
That's right. You can't have that type of mentality.
You can't have that mentality. So it's like
that's hard in life, though, because we're all selfish at times.
At times it's a human trait.
Yes,
it's a human trait. But I think when you give in with the mindset of faith, and knowing that whatever you give gonna come back to you one way, shape, or another, that then it becomes easier, and it becomes something that you enjoy doing. And if all you receive from giving is fulfillment, that's enough.
That's a lot right
there. Because
there.
some people don't even have that.
That's right.
But at the same time, you can't be like, I'm gonna just try to do this so I can feel it. So it's like it got to be pure. It got to be pure in your heart, and I think you got to be moved in certain ways to find out where you want to give, what you want to give, however it is that you want to serve, however you move to serve. I think when you walk in that, you'll gain some of your fulfillment.
That's right. And you got to have an anchor, and it sounds like faith has been an anchor
Absolutely.
for you. When did faith become such an anchor for you?
It's really been my whole life. Probably my biggest step was in college. I was going to a church in Clemson called Freeway. It was pastored by Jeff Davis, who's our team chaplain now. He like everything off the field at Clemson now. He the man. Paul Journey.
I worked with him and Paul Journey.
Man. So,
that's right. He is the man.
So I had a really good relationship with Jeff, and he was my pastor. And I was actually, after my first year in the NFL, I came back to Clemson, and he baptized me. And at Freeway, I came back up the Freeway, and so I think, just my walk. I mean, but it's been before. Like I always had faith in God, and knowing that there's always something.
You always
better.
felt something.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And then also, my strong family. Like I'm a real big family guy, and my support from my family is very important to me. So my faith in my family, like I think that's kind of where I get, draw my strength from. Yeah. And my my motivation always to go and provide and just be a good person, and nobody perfect, but
that's right. But we're all striving. But you have to have that type of anchor. And for me, I didn't come into my faith until I was like 38 years old. I'm 48 now, so I'm jealous at times to hear stories of people that did find their faith earlier than I did, but we all have our own journey.
Without a doubt,
and maybe at that time I wouldn't have been ready.
Everybody,
so you have to go through your own process.
Yeah, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's important because it helps fill those voids that you might have on a daily basis. Now, sports, that's another anchor, right?
Without a doubt.
What's your first memories of just gravitating towards sports, and obviously knowing your dad is Jesse Tuggle, so you had that from an opportunity of your dad as an NFL player. But what's your first memories of I love sports?
So my first sport was actually baseball. I played baseball and t-ball when I was 4 years old, and I always had a drive for sports. I got a good relationship with Jesse. I didn't grow up with him though, so I didn't see it growing up. But I always had a drive for it inside me. So baseball was my first sport. I played when I was 4, then I played football since I was 5 years old. So I'll go football, baseball, and then as I got into middle school, I wanted to play basketball. So I played for the rec league my 6th and 7th grade year, and then
so now why are you laughing when you say basketball? Because that's my sport.
That's what I'm saying. So I want to play. I love basketball playing. But when I say I play basketball, people always give me a hard time. But I was pretty good, man.
Yeah, but, you can go ahead and brag. That's okay.
But so then 8th grade, I wanted to try for the middle school team, and I was doing my thing. I felt like but that coach at the time didn't feel like I was good enough to make the team, and I was hurt by that. I was really hurt by that. But through that, I found wrestling.
Okay.
So, and this is 8th grade when I started wrestling. And so I started wrestling in 8th grade, was pretty good. And, I had to learn, and then I get to high school and I stopped playing baseball after middle school as well. So I just started doing football, track, and wrestling. And track, I was a sprinter, and I was just playing.
You look like it. Come on now.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, we can say that.
I did field events, man. I did shot put disc. Everybody. I did big man relay one time.
There you go.
Out second leg.
Yes.
But
talk about being an anchor.
Yes, sir. But I wasn't gonna wrestle in high school either. Though I figured I didn't want to do. I thought it was fun while I did in middle school. But my wrestling coach came and got me out of class when I was in 9th grade. We're going into 9th grade. He was like, "Look, I want you to wrestle. Like, I really think you could be really good, and I'm gonna, coach you up and just don't give up on it. I don't want you to give up." And so I was like, "All right, coach, I do it." So 10th grade, I go back to the wrestling mat after football season, and I ended up winning the conference, the area conference for heavyweight. And then I ended up not making it to state that year. And I used to have bad anxiety problems when I would wrestle. It was because it's such like a one-on-one thing. And
so describe that. What do you mean anxiety?
So it's like, as a competitor, you can always get pregame butterflies.
Oh yeah, of course.
But in wrestling, for me, it was another level. Like it was like, cause like one-on-one, like I would do good. Like, I feed off of it. If I can get inside my own head too. So it's like I won area, then I get to like the sectionals, and I'm kind of like I lose to like.
Are you doubting yourself?
You doubting yourself, and it's like man, and it's like you lose, and I lost like somebody I had no business like losing to, and
because your mind just took over and affected you.
And I'm like, man, like I ain't never gonna like let myself do that again. Like I really played myself out. So then the next year I ended up winning the area again, then winning a sectional, then going to state, and I lost to state to the eventual state champion that year, a guy who had like won it a couple times, and I lost to him in the semis. And then in my head again, I'm like, man, like I really shouldn't have lost to this dude.
Okay.
So it's like these L's that I'm taking, I'm learning like, if it's about like me and my preparation. Like, and then my senior year come, and I'm like, man, this is my last shot. Like, I want to win state. Like, I made up my mind, like I want to win state. Like, I ain't nothing stop me. Like, this is like me overcoming anxiety, fear, whatever it is that is holding me back in my mind.
Yeah, overcoming your own demons.
Yeah, overcoming my own, and I'm like, so like we get to from area, so there's three steps. So it's like wrestling playoffs. Area, sectionals, to state, all the way to when I won the state championship. Like nobody scored on me, nothing. Like I was locked in. Like I was like so locked in. And like for me, when I transferred like to me, being a professional now on the football field, it's lessons that I learned like then as far as like the power of your mind and also like it's kind of like the pain of regret versus the pain of discipline. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if I try my best right now and just get through it, I'm gonna be fulfilled with the results. But if I know I didn't go out there and do my best, I'm gonna have regret. So every time I get a chance to compete, I always want to do my best. And no matter what the circumstances are, no matter things going good or bad, I want to control what I can control and go out and perform and be the best me I can be. And I think that's a lesson that I learned on the wrestling mat.
Yeah, and that has obviously carried over into your NFL career. Absolutely. Because I hear a lot of NFL players talking about there's one aspect for players in the NFL. It's obviously the physical side, but what a lot of times that separates those same players that might have the same physical set, it's their mind.
Without a doubt, I think mindset is definitely the thing that separates players at a professional level, because everybody is good physically at what you do, and it's the mindset to endure, to always continue to try to be better, to fight complacency, to know that you're not good enough, to humble yourself, and just always try to find better ways to get better. I always look at it like you see some of the best players on the planet at their respective sports, like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Serena Williams. These people always saying that they got to get better and they got to find out what they can do better. These people who've been at the top of the game for so long, how can I feel like I got it all figured out?
That's right.
Yeah, so it's like, and not just in sports, and whether it's in entertainment, whatever, you always hear the people who are at the top who trying to be the best saying like they got to find a ways to get better. How can I critique this? And they probably more critical on themselves than anybody else is of them.
That's right.
So,
I try to do it just in parenting.
Yeah,
just in life. I'm trying to get better.
Like, without a doubt. So, I think it's like you never got it all figured out. You got to grind and strive, and you got to fall in love with the process of it, because the process of it is what really make you.
That's what shapes you.
Everybody want to be there on game day. Everybody want to be with the lights on, but when nobody watching, you know what I'm saying? The grind that you're putting in is going. Are you working for real, or you just working for when the camera on?
That's right. Mm-hmm. So. You say Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Where do you fall in the debate? Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Who's the GOAT?
I never got to see Michael Jordan play, I know. And I got to see, what I'm saying, but I was.
Come on now, it's MJ. It's MJ.
So you saying MJ, I'm saying LBJ, you know what I'm saying? No, I think they're great players, man. I think that they're the only really players you can try to put. I mean, I don't like comparisons in the first place.
It's tough when you're generation to generation.
Yeah, generation to generation is very tough, but still comparison, what I'm saying? Comparison is the thief of joy, man. It's like we got two great players that we can just
Just appreciate them both, right?
Appreciate them, man. They appreciate them, man. Like, and I think they would probably be the first to tell you, like, man, like, we just trying to be the best we can be.
Yeah.
You know
now, how much did, outside of the mental aspect of what you went through with wrestling, what about just from the physical aspect of the technique of wrestling? How is that helping you as you were in college and even in NFL, just understanding leverage points and things of that nature?
You definitely said it, like leverage, body control, especially things like, I got to take on certain double teams and bending and twisting certain ways. I think my flexibility is also something that helps me in my play as a football player. And but yeah, you said it, and it's just like it's like, and I think like wrestling, as far as like certain techniques and stuff, you never really forget it. Like I probably can't go out there right now and just.
You haven't been on the mat in a while,
but I can go out there and hold my own.
Oh, I bet you can.
I'm not gonna disrespect somebody who like a pro college, not a pro, but a college wrestler that work at it every day and he's sharp in his tool. But I mean, I probably could go out there.
Oh, I bet you could.
Hang, you know what I'm saying? Hang a little bit.
But did you ever actually want to get in the ring and do like WWE style type of wrestling?
No, never that. I ain't never want to do that. I always wanted to be a football player. And
yeah. So how early on was that you had that mindset that you wanted to play college football or be an NFL player?
I knew I wanted to play at a young age, and it's like growing up, people always tell you plan B, and I mean I
gotta have a plan B.
I'll prepare myself for that, but I feel like when you're chasing a dream, chasing big things, you have to commit to it and put your all into it, and along the way, it's gonna be people to tell you, what I'm saying, like you can't do it, or you're not this and that, and this, you're not tall enough, you're not big enough, and it's gonna be a few people who believe in you, gonna tell you what you need to do to accomplish your goal. So for me, people know I don't want to go be no 6'3" dude, no 6, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm gonna be a defensive lineman, I gotta be bigger, stronger, faster. I mean, not bigger, but stronger, faster, and quicker than the people I'm going against. And so it's like, I knew where some things I may lack physically, where I played it to an advantage for me. Because just because they say that this ain't what I'm supposed to be, that ain't mean that it don't work for me, And it's, for me, it's like I wouldn't want to no other way. Like as far as
so you enjoyed that type of adversity,
without a doubt,
the grind.
Without a doubt, the grind of it make you play harder, make you go harder. Like for me anyway, it could break a lot of people. It could discourage a lot of people. But for me, it's like a motivator, and
so what motivated you more? People saying you can't do that, or somebody who said, "Grady, I believe in you."
Oh
trying
yeah,
to prove them right.
I tell people all the time. I prove people. The few people that believe in me, I prove them right. Like I could care less about people that believe in me. Like I'll never give them that power. I never be able to give nobody the power to say, "Yeah, I told him that." I cut him then. That forced him to do this. Or I denied him. That's forced him to do that. I never give nobody that power, because it's about the ones who believe in me, and there was a very few of them. And so the people who did believe in me, they're relevant. They're relevant. They never get no piece of my story.
Yeah, that's not the motivation.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, your story is about
those who was with me,
the people that did believe in you. And so who are some of those that have believed in you?
Oh yeah, what I do, so absolutely. Starting off with my mother, number one. Always my high school coach, Michael Etheridge, was one of my biggest supporters. A lot of coaches was coming in because they heard about me, all these numbers I put up in high school, and they would come, they'll see me, and they'll be gone. They won't hear about me no more.
And why? Were they saying, it's too small?
Yeah, too small. Too small, Rockdale County, don't nobody come out of Rockdale. And then another believer was Coach Swinney from Clemson. I went up to Clemson for a couple camps. Actually, Chris Rumph was my recruiter. Chris Rumph, he coaching at, he was a coach in Florida, maybe at Tennessee now. But before I got to Clemson, he ended up leaving to go do another job. But he was always fighting real hard for me. Like coming out of high school, he was like, "Man, Grady Jarrett gonna be the best recruiter out of this class." But I was just two-star recruiter at this time. And but he ended up leaving before I got there. But I always just kept in touch with him. But Coach Swinney believed in me, and he was like, man, we ain't got no more scholarships left. And cause I went up to camp and had a really good camp. I mean, we don't have any more scholarships left. But man, I like you. I love, you know what I'm saying, you as a player, and I want you to be Clemson Tiger and this and that. Me and my mom was in the office, and then, you know, me in the moment, I'm kind of play it cool and stuff. I'm not acting like too excited. So he was like, man, I want you to come to Clemson, da da da. He was like, what you think? You know what I'm saying, da da da. I was like, all right, coach, I'm gonna think about it. Then my mama was like,
inside, you're ready to go, right?
Yeah, I was like, because I'm gonna think about it. And my mama was like, boy, she wanted to jump across that table on me and talk about, boy, you feeling good in this thing right now? But I wanted to play it cool, you know what I'm saying?
Of course, there's nothing wrong with playing it cool.
I called him like the next day.
You did?
Yeah. And,
give him 24 hours,
yeah,
that's it.
Without a doubt. And you know, he stood on the table for me, and I ended up having a great college career, and made a lot of people look like, you know, they didn't know what they was talking about, which was, you know, it's all cool, whatever. And then, shoot, going through the NFL draft, you know, being projected from a late.
It was the same thing.
Yeah, same exact thing.
This has been your whole story.
It's my whole story. So it's like,
Yes.
but it's like when it happened to me in the draft, like, man, I've been here before, like, you know,
Yeah.
and which was disappointing because during that time, I finally felt like I was gonna get my break, or like, you know,
This was it.
This I'm gonna get like appreciated. You know what I'm saying? I put in the good work and this and that, and so, you know, I ended up falling. I was projected like a late first, second round pick, and I'm like, all right, cool, like this is time, da 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 da, and they ended up falling all the way. First round pass, second round pass, third round pass. I was getting like to the bottom of the fourth round. I still haven't been selected. I'm like, well, dang, like, and I'm getting like, you know, I'm like, at this point, shoot, I probably ain't gonna draft me. Like, I'm disappointed, of course, but so the first pick of the fifth round come around, and Atlanta trade up to get me, and so I was just like, but I tell people all the time, whether I went first round or where I went, I was gonna be doing the same stuff I'm doing now.
Yes, you don't think it would have affected how you have been out on the field?
No, I would have just got more money on the front end, but I got it on the back end.
You made it on the back end, that's right. Because people believed in you now.
I mean, of course they can believe in you after you put in the work.
That's right.
But it's all good because I believed in myself.
Yeah.
And I knew that.
You bet on yourself.
Without a doubt, every time.
Yeah.
Every time I'll bet on myself and lose, I'll be good because I know I tried my best. But as far as me letting somebody else put a limitation on me and being like, you know what, you're right about me, never that. I'll always bet on myself.
Have you thought about and reflected in reference to your time at Clemson, and you were really part of that class that was coming up and really built that defense
without a doubt,
and helped propel Clemson to where Clemson is now? I mean, have you thought about just how impactful that core group of guys you had with you, what you guys have done?
Yeah, without a doubt. It was definitely some guy, because when I first got there, we ended up winning 10 games after like a long time.
Yes.
You know, 10-4, and it was 11-2, 11-2, and then 10-3. We had teams that were good enough to go on to win national championships, but things fall apart, you know, so here and there.
Oh, it's tough to win.
It's tough to win. It's really tough. But my last year we had the number one defense in the country. Guys like me, Vic Beasley, Stephon Anthony, so many guys to name that was a part of that have been in the NFL, and so I mean we definitely were some building blocks.
You set the foundation.
We definitely set the foundation of it. But you know, like, I always like to give the guys the credit, man. The guys who were there that won that national championship, and those guys really did. Made me very proud to see, you know, those young guys and some of the defensive linemen that come up through there after Clemson that are now in the NFL now. You see a guy like Deshaun Watson who having a great pro career, MVP year this year. And to be able to nuke Hopkins. I mean, I could go on all of this.
I know.
And it's like to be like, man, we was all on the same team. Like we was all on the same team, man. And it's some guys who, you know, unfortunately didn't, you know, make it to the end of their college careers who was like great players and just had other great things to do with that. And we had some really, really good talent. And the thing about it was everybody wasn't like, you know, there's some people that was like highly rated and stuff, but like myself, like I wasn't like highly rated coming out, and I just to be able to build up through that program and make a career for myself. You know, I think that's a testament to the coaches and the coaching staff up there in Clemson, and the program that they build for us to be able to develop.
And what is it about the culture that Coach Swinney has built there at Clemson?
I think it's special. It's a special place, one of a kind place, something that you have to experience to understand. Outside looking in, I think it's something that's very hard to believe because it takes a special group of people, not just one person, to accomplish. But there's a family atmosphere, but there's also a competitive atmosphere to where it's like how can these guys bloody each other up in training camp at the level that they do, and after practice over go love on each other and do this and that.
That's right.
It's I don't know. It's like it's something special. Like it's been instilled over time. It took time, and it took people to believe in Coach Swinney and his vision to let him do what he had to do to get the program to where it's at. And I think it's a very, very special place, and it challenges you to be the best player you can be, but also the best man you can be.
I think so too.
They put you in positions to have success. Because I don't think the goal is not for you to go there and make it to the NFL. And I think Coach knows that some of the best. The average NFL career is what, 3 years, right. 5 if you're lucky, and there's life after that. But at a place like a lot of life after that, and I think a place like Clemson, with some of the things they're doing off the field, like a Paul Journey or something like that, where they bringing people in from corporate businesses to learn about these players as they're young guys, getting their degrees and knowing where they came from as far as the values of hard work, being on time, making sure you're getting your job done, and accountability. These things are instilled in them, and knowing when they get to the business world or whatever avenue they want to go, even if they want to go to the film industry, there's people and places at Clemson that can connect you to where you need to be. You got guys who working in corporate America, you got guys who working in fashion that's killing it, that come from Clemson. And so I think it's a very, very special place. And it used to be a place where they have to go out and recruit hard to get guys, please come to Clemson, please come to Clemson. But now they at a spot where like, look, man, we know you're a 5-star recruit, but we full.
Yes, and I think to the point that, and I think Coach Swinney has probably been this way all along, and you can probably attest to this, is that it doesn't matter if you're a 5-star recruit or not, but you have to fit within the culture. You got to fit the mold. That's right.
You got to fit the mold. They don't offer everybody. That's right. They don't allow everybody in the doors, and that's what makes it so special, And I think as long as you keep that mindset about it, and he understands that it don't take a 5-star to win, because he had Grady Jarrett come through the door, 2-star.
2-star.
Let me stop. But yes, they know it's about the man.
It is.
It's about the man.
It's much more than the number of stars you have, or how many wins and losses the team gets. It's much bigger than that.
Yes, sir.
Now, what about in the NFL locker room? How much trash talk goes on between, say, you and
Julio?
Yes, exactly.
Stuff every day. Every day. Him really giving them trash, giving them mess every day. Ooh, especially when we tore that butt up in the national championship.
Of course.
But everybody, every week, and we put up the matchups. Every guy's from biggest school to smallest school, whatever matchups. It'd be some of the craziest matchups you wouldn't believe. That's like in our building. It'd be like 2 D3 schools you never heard of, and both these guys on our team, and they'll put it on the board and stuff like that. So it's funny. Guys love and always prideful about where they come from.
Of course.
And
take a lot of pride in your school.
Yeah, man. Me and Debo, Deion Jones, they all talk about who the real Tigers are. He went to LSU. So I'm like, man, we beat y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That's
when
right.
I was there, we beat y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's fun. It's definitely fun.
That's great. What about just in terms of sports and what it's meant for you in your life? And obviously we know from a financial standpoint, but just more than that.
Yeah.
But what has sports meant to you?
Man, sports teach you a lot of things. I think that if you're fortunate when you play in sports, because you can learn a lot of lessons like I deal with life, and I think like whether it's overcoming adversity, hard work, you get out what you put in, teamwork, learn how to work with a team, whether I feel like, you're always gonna have to work with a team some way, somehow. Just certain values that you learn through the ups and the downs of sports that you can apply to life on any level. Like even if you just play in middle school, if you just play in high school, I think it's important for kids to be able to experience a sport or whatever it is, just to have that brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever it is, to that camaraderie, because it builds relationships with people that you would never run into if you didn't play that sport. Like them being teammates with guys from different countries, different backgrounds, obviously different ethnicities. You get to interact with all these people, and you're like, well, we all ain't so different after all.
That's right.
And when you don't get to experience that, you kind of just get what the world give you. And everything, the world don't give you the best stuff all the time.
Does not.
And
life is hard.
Yeah, life is hard. Life is hard. And I think when you get to be able to play a sport, even if it's, I think it's, you have to enjoy it. You should enjoy it. But even if for an experience, like
yes,
even if
and that's
somebody,
why I'm big on. You don't have to be an NFL player.
Yeah,
you don't have to be an NBA player or All-American in college. Just have some exposure to team sports or even individual sports because of what it can teach you.
No, it's been plenty of people who was good enough to play at a professional level that didn't want to. I mean, and that's okay. They want to be professionals in other walks of life, and that's admirable. So it's like the lessons that you learn from the sport, I think it could just help you in life, period.
Now you've got a very wise mentality and seems like you're very grounded. So what about words of wisdom? Life advice, phrases, mottos, quotes, do you have anything that you've leaned on over the years?
For me, I'd say one off the top, I always say like the best is always yet to come, So no matter how good or bad something's going on in your life, the best is always yet to come. If you keep that mindset, you always keep striving. You always keep striving, because when things going down and you like, you know what, it's better days coming. You know what I'm saying? And when things going good, you keep striving and grinding to get yourself better and better and better. So I feel like the best is always yet to come. I feel like you always should be able to believe in yourself, and if you should try your hardest, because if you don't try, you're gonna have the pain of discipline, pain and regret. So you don't want to regret nothing in life. And there's always one thing. There's one thing that Coach Swinney said that always stuck with me. I put it like in my Twitter bio and everything. So it was like, I want to do what I can while I can. So when I cannot, I will not. Wish I would have when I could have. So it was like, I don't want to be in a position that I'm in right now where I want to be and mess it all up and then look back and be like, dang, if only I did this, if only I did that. I want to do it when I can, when I have the opportunity.
That's right.
So I won't have any regret I won't have any second thoughts about what more could I have done, or what more could I have done here and there, because you always wonder.
Of course.
And sometimes I think people
That'll eat you up.
It eats you up. And I think people think life gonna wait on you, and it's not.
It's not. Keeps going.
And you have to be mindful of your window of time that you have to do what you're doing and maximize it, and try to push it as long as you can to the highest amount you can while you can, because one day you're not going to be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah. You have any regrets?
I can't look back and say I got one. I feel like I'm where I thought I would always be, but I'm not there yet. Yeah. So
you're still striving.
Still striving every day, and I think I'm fulfilled. I'm fulfilled in my spirit. I'm fulfilled, like, as far as, like, my family, but I'm not satisfied. I feel like I'm just, like you said, like, I'm still striving. Like, I want to continue to get better. Like, even though I signed a big deal, like, shoot, I want to do another big deal. Like, it's like,
that's not the end goal,
it's
right?
like, it ain't about, it's about being like the best me I can be and maximizing whatever that is. And at the end of the day, I will see, what God had for me, because I tried my best in what I can control, and that's going to reveal itself. But if I don't try my best, and if I, if I soak this away, if I get complacent, if I get comfortable, I won't find out. And I just want to, I just want to see what.
That's right. Well, and then you will have that pain of regret.
Yeah. So I don't want
to avoid that.
Avoid that, because I can't. That's one thing. I don't want to live with that. You know what I'm saying? So I try to make good decisions. Try to work hard. Try to stay consistent. And everything gonna be, like I said earlier, everything not gonna be perfect along the way. But as long as you try to move with a pure heart, grind hard, and let everything else take care of itself. I don't worry a lot.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of.
Now, if we could just get to everybody to think that same type of mindset, we might be a better society.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so just really trying to just be the best me I can be, man. That's right.
Well, you've been a big honor letting me steal some of your time, so I greatly appreciate it, Grady.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.